Though football is silenced across the world at the moment as we wait out this disease, the coronavirus, whatever, COVID-19, but it gives me a chance to think about what I expect to happen in the remaining few weeks of the season in the Championship. Who's going to the Premier League and who's going down to League One? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. This time we're going to take a look at the final standings out in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related. Whoa, football, there we go, here. Under one Rovski. Now, hopefully, behind me are the final few games of the season, and I've actually gone ahead and predicted all the results that I think will happen, and I've put them into a table, but that we'll go through one by one in just a second. So, who will be going into the Premier League to join the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and co? Well, let's get cracking and have a little look, shall we? So here we are, boys and girls, the top, the 24 teams out in the Championship. Who's going to be bottom and who's going up? Now, on the left-hand side are my predictions. On the right-hand side is the table as it stands. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So we're going to start with who is going to be relegated to League One, bottom of the wooden spoon. Currently, that honour goes to Barnsley. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, boys and girls. We're gonna try and fly through these babies. So Barnsley are bottom, and they will end up bottom. Despite I like Barnsley. I did originally have them staying in the Championship. I thought their home form would do well. They changed managers to see if that did anything, and they did compete. And they're going to go down with a bit of a fight. It's not going to be something that's resolved 4 weeks from the end of the season. They will be sticking around to the last 2 or 3 games or something. So that unfortunately, Barnsley will be playing League One football once again. So they might have a really good badge, but they're going down. Into 23rd spot, currently it is Luton. And once again, I don't see that changing. I think Luton are going to go down. And again, got cracking badge. We've talked about the badges before, but they've dug in some surprises along the way. They did beat Rovers as well at Ewood Park. They've got a goal scorer in there. They've got some really good midfielders. It's a shame. It's a shame. But 3 teams have to go down. And as it stands, Luton and Barnsley are my 2 picks, having worked it all out. So will Collins go to a Championship club next season, or will he duke it out with Luton once again? This time in League One. Obviously, he proved to be a goal scorer in that level, and he's also proved to be a goal scorer at this level. Into 22nd spot, the final relegation spot as it stands is Charlton. Guess what, though? Bit of a surprise here. They do stick around. I've got them up to 20th in the table. So we do have a surprise on our hands who will be going down with Luton and Barnsley. Charlton have obviously got a really impressive manager. I think Lou Bowyer's done an absolute tremendous job surrounding the circumstances around Charlton at the moment. They haven't got much money to spend, but they've got some really good players. They've got Lyle Taylor scoring goals. His contract is up at the end of the season, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes. If they can seal him for another 2 years, then goals will keep you in this division. But they do on the flip side have Macaulay Bonne on the horizon, who will also score goals when called upon. So Charlton will stick around. Kudos to Lee Bowyer. We'll be back at the Valley next season. But who's going down then with Luton and Barnsley? Well, currently its 21st spot is Hull City, and I do unfortunately see them going down. This break has probably given them a chance to regroup and maybe stave off the sacking of manager McCann. So obviously they lost their main man Jared Bowen in the January transfer window, and also Grzycki as well, who's also an attacking threat. Where are the goals going to come from? They brought in Marcus Madsen. He's not really delivered at the moment. Tom Eaves is injured, and again, this does give a chance for him to come back and maybe give them a new lease of life. But ultimately, they're going down in my eyes. It'll take a bit of a miracle to stop that rot. But again, this break has given them a chance to maybe readdress that. Next up, we have in 20th spot is Wigan Athletic, and they're going to hang on by the skin of their teeth as well. This break has come at the wrong time for them. They were knocking in on the goals in, the games in, the points in as well. They were doing very, very well for themselves, and unfortunately now this break has actually put a stop to that and maybe broken their confidence a little bit. They'll go down just to 1 spot, but they'll stick around. Paul Cock and his boys will be back next year to really irk me up. I think Rovers still got to play them, so That game is always eagerly anticipated, and of course the last time we did play them, Bradley Dack left the field with a major injury, and there's no chance he's going to be back for the season at all. No matter when it starts. Anyway, next up we have 19th spot Middlesbrough. They will end up in 19th spot again. Woodgate has had a rough old ride. Started the season in absolute terrible form. Had a good middle of the season, or sort of the middle third, or back third really. And they were trying to grind the results in before this break. I do expect, as long as things perk up a little bit in the transfer window next season, I think Middlesbrough will do well next season, top 10, and maybe even push for playoffs. Even with Woodgate in charge, he's a Middlesbrough lad through and through, first year in the job, tough season. Next season going to be a completely separate thing, and I do expect the likes of Middlesbrough, Stoke and Huddersfield to be knocking on the door for playoffs next season. So in a Rovers hat on, I'm hoping that we could do something to just squeeze into the playoffs and maybe escape this division, because next season it's going to be tough old boots. And you just look at the teams that are coming down from the Premier League and coming up from League One. It's just going to get harder and harder this league. So anyway, Middlesbrough will be as they are, 19th. Next up we have Huddersfield in 18th spot. They'll do a little bit better. I think they'll go up to 17th by the end of the season. There again, they've got a goal scoring Colin Grant. He has been attracting interest from Premier League clubs, so keeping a hold of him through now to the end of the season obviously is massive, and I think his goals will do enough to keep Huddersfield Town in this division for another year. Into 17th spot, who do we have now? It is Stoke City. I see them going back down one spot again. O'Neill's had an iffy sort of start to his life as manager of Stoke. Horrible start, good middle, and now a rough sort of back end to it, but they'll be all right. They've got some really good players. I was actually impressed with their midfield against Blackburn Rovers not too long ago. They've got Joe Allen, Klukas, Nick Powell as well, and that's not even talking about some of their attacking wide players. They've got some really good players, and it's just surprising to see them struggle. Maybe I don't know, maybe there's some stuff going on behind the scenes prior to O'Neill's involvement. Anyway, he come in and he's done an okay job and steadied the ship. They'll be there or thereabouts next season. You watch. Next up we have Birmingham. Obviously they were on a nice little run themselves. Kind of come to a crashing halt recently. Scott Hogan's been an absolute find, and I'm sure they're going to be scraping all the pennies together to make sure he comes in. Of course, they have one of the most sellable assets in football with Jude Bellingham, so I'm sure if that cash comes in, Scotty Hogan will be a Birmingham City player if they so choose to go there next season. Obviously his wages is a bit of a matter, but anyway, I do see them finishing much higher in 13th spot. Again, they shouldn't trouble their playoff spots at all, but they'll be, again, I did predict the absolute doomsday for Birmingham at the start of the season, but they've turned that around and they've had a good start to 2020. Just a terrible past few weeks. Into 15th spot we have Sheffield Wednesday, another team that's had an absolute shit show of recent times. If Gary Monk can wade this out, he'll be alright. He'll be alright next season. I do rate him. I just don't know what's going on. I think Fletcher's injury had dried up the goals. His return though could see them get a big old boost. I don't see too much of a boost though. I think they'll end up in 14th spot, which is okay. Again, I did have them struggling to survive this season, and at one point they were knocking on the door for playoffs, and I had a lot of flack, I had a lot of heat from Sheffield Wednesday fans with my initial prediction, but they're going to end up around about 14th, I think. No major change from the current situation. Into 14th, we have Reading, who have surprised me at the moment. I did have them struggling more around about 18th or 19th. I didn't see them going down. I thought they'd brought in a really good player in Puskás, but the question is, where did that money come from? The high figure for Puskás and the 7 or 8 million they paid for Lucas Chow. It's like 15 million come out of nowhere. So I'm a little bit concerned about their history, their back history, if they're going to be in financial fair play regulations, if they're in those two guidelines. Same could be said about us, really. But anyway, Reading 14th at the moment. They're going to go down a couple spots to 16th. They've been on a nice little run. Bowen's kind of surprised me as a manager, former assistant manager at Ewood Park. He's doing okay for himself at Reading. I think they'll be okay next season. I don't know what's going to happen with them next season. We'll have to wait and see. It's a 13th spot. Currently is QPR. Don't like them really. Well, I did obviously have a swipe at them at the start of the season, thinking they would go down, but they are scoring goals for fun. They've been a pain in the butt to Rovers this season. They destroyed us at their place. Did we get away with a win? I can't remember. But anyway, they currently find themselves in 13th spot. they'll go down a couple spots to 15th. The goals will keep them in this division, of course, and they'll also avoid any relegations. Next up into, where are we, 12th, we've got Derby County, obviously Wayne Rooney FC. Obviously Blackburn Rovers' last game in the Championship was against Derby, and they were very good, very, very good. Even without their key men, Tom Lawrence, Wayne Rooney. So they've got a very good home sort of system going on, but will it be good enough to get to the last minute push to be in the playoffs? Probably not. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts, 12th spot. They're not going to really fly high. Their away form is what's going to hurt them in the end. Next season could be the season for Derby again. The season, Championship is just going to get harder and harder. I just don't know when or where Rovers will get themselves a chance like this. Next up, we have into 11th spot Swansea. Obviously, again, they gave us a game at Ewood Park. I think we snatched it at the end, or snatched a point anyway, to break their hearts, Swansea Hearts. They'll be there. They're going to be up a spot into 10th spot at the end of the season. But will they beat Cardiff? That's a sort of local rivalry. Who will be the best Welsh team in the Championship? Will it be Swansea? Who's going to be in that 11th spot? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. They've brought in a lot of youngsters as well. Ryan Brewster, Conor Gallagher, players that are going to, add a bit of quality to the team right here, right now. But will they be back next season? I don't know. It's a big old question. We'll have to wait and see. And you know what? I think this is also a chance for Swansea to get themselves to the Premier League right here, right now. Because what's going to happen next season? Well, what kind of players will they be able to bring in financially wise? Anyway, next up in 10th spot is Blackburn Rovers. Oh yeah, where are we going to be? We're currently in 10th. We have a shot at the playoffs at the moment, but we're not going to make it. Unfortunately, we're going to get into about 8th. I'm ambitious enough. I think we'll have a strong end to the season, but it won't be good enough. There'll be two teams better off than us to get into those playoff spots. But 8th will be a good finish for us. Dramatic improvement from last year. So, you know what? Progression is key. And as long as the Rovers fans can see that we're going in the right direction with the likes of Dak, Holtby and Co coming back next year, we may be able to improve on that. Into 9th spot currently is Cardiff. They are the current best Welsh team in the division, but will they beat Swansea? No, they won't. Swansea will oust them into 10th spot. Cardiff will drop back in 11th. Obviously, Harris is now in charge, obviously formerly of Millwall. They've done okay. They've drawn too many games, though, and their strikers are actually failing to deliver up top. They're relying on goals elsewhere. I think that's going to hurt them in the end. Scoring goals is massive to get yourselves anyway. Next up into 8th spot currently is Millwall. Gary Rowett's boys. Can Millwall oust Cardiff? Of course they can. They're going to go up to the playoffs. I see them sneaking in somehow. I don't know how that came about, but I see them squeezing into the playoffs, into 6th spot at the expense of somebody else. Obviously, Rovers didn't make it. Someone else in 9th and 7th didn't make it. Big surprise there. They're playing good football. They're going under the radar. They could be the side that comes out of nowhere. Not really much out of nowhere. They are in 8th spot, but you never know. That's a sharp increase from last season. Next up, earlier, is Bristol City, currently in 7th spot. They're going to be as they are, and unfortunately just fall short of the playoffs once again. Lee Johnson doing a tremendous job for a team of this size, of this calibre. They've got a bit of money, they've spent a bit of money, and they've got some really good players on their books, but unfortunately they're going to fall short once again this year. Who's in that 9th spot? Well, I think it's Preston. Currently in 6th spot. They're going to drop down to 9th, unfortunately. They're a decent unit. They've beaten us quite convincingly over the past few seasons, and I think, do we have to play them again? I don't know. I can't remember if we have to play them again. I don't really want to play them again, to be honest with you. But they're going to end up beneath us, so that's a bit of local pride for us. Big. They're probably the biggest fallers in all this mess. And Birmingham seems to be the biggest risers, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, so Preston fall short into 9th spot. Into 5th we go. Nottingham Forest. They'll be as you are. They'll hold their own and have a shot at the Premier League. I'm not doing the Premier League predictions, the playoff predictions. I'm just doing the final table predictions. Into 4th spot, it'll be Brentford. They will go up 1 spot into 3rd. Unfortunately, just miss out on those top 2 spots. They've been an absolute treasure to watch. And if I was correct with these playoff spots, I think Brentford would be my team to support. Obviously, David Raya between sticks. It'd be great to see him play in the Premier League at long last. And they've got some really explosive forwards and obviously some experienced defenders as well. So they've got it all. Unfortunately, at the expense of Rovers. Into 3rd, it is Fulham. I see them going back 1 spot into 4th. I think they'll be content with that. Scotty Parker's first crack at the helm. Play a shot at it. And then if there is those 4 teams, who would you fancy? You'd probably fancy Brentford or Fulham to make a final. Forest and Millwall will be the underdogs. And the final 2 will be as they were. I've got West Brom in second and Leeds top dog. So that is my outcome for the season. Once we get through the final few games, what is it, 8, 9 games left of the season. Not too long to make your predictions. Get your own predictions in nice and early down below. I don't know when the football's coming back. It's your guess is as good as mine. But might as well get your predictions in now so we can take a little look at it and see what you guys think. Maybe just do your top 6 or maybe do your bottom 5. Who's going to go down, or might as well just stick the whole pissing lot in there, boys. Anyway, that is just about it for the championship. Be sure to come back tomorrow. We'll take a little look at League One, see who's going to go up to the championship and who's going to go down. Can Sunderland come out of nowhere and get themselves back into the second tier of English football, and who's going to go down to the 4th tier? Some big clubs down the bottom of the table. We'll do it all again anyway. Be sure to give this video some love and smash your thumbs up, and of course smash your subscribe. I'm back tomorrow, same time, same place. Of course, check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there: Twitter, Facebook, and of course Patreon. If you want to become a patron of the channel, now's a good time to join the illustrious 10: Aztec, Marky B. Mark, Daniel Mellor, Constable 1976, Mitchell Shone, Tom Clark, Tom Beresford, Cody Cahoe, John Spurn, Russell Frost, No Code Drinker. They're all there, babies. Under one Ruski. Until I see you all again, I'm out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.